Well, we have some major news regarding Social Security. So, if you are one of the millions of Americans that are currently receiving Social Security benefits, this is a video you need to watch because now we're starting to hear more and more Republicans come out and say that we need to do more. We need to provide for our constituents and we need to ensure that they are taken care of. Because if seniors are not taken care of in 2025, Republicans believe in 2026 they're going to lose seats in the House and the Senate. So I'm going to break down what's going on, but why this is good news for millions of Americans who are currently receiving Social Security benefits. So again, make sure you watch this entire video and I'll explain exactly what is going on. But first, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So here's what's happening at this time. We have heard in the past few months, ever since Donald Trump took office and Republicans took control of the House and the Senate, we've been hearing from many Republicans saying that we have to provide the best 2 years of Americans' life. And we need to do that because if we do not, prices continue to rise and benefits are getting cut. Well, this will be the end for Republicans because Democrats will likely come back in the midterm elections in 2026 and they'll take back the House and the Senate. That would mean President Trump's agenda would completely fall apart. Well, here's what we know. Here's where it's getting very interesting. It says Social Security's newest 2026 cost of living adjustment forecast points to promise and peril for retirees. Why? Well, it's because the cost of living adjustment and the way it's calculated is only going to hurt many retirees. Now, you need to understand what they're discussing at this time, what the potential increase is looking like. Here you go. It says senior advocacy group, the Senior Citizens League, publishes updates to its forecast for the COLA after every monthly CPI release from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The most recent release came on April 10th, which showed March cpi-w came in at 2.2% higher than the same month last year. That's a marked slowdown from February's 2.7% increase and January's 3% increase. Keep in mind, one of the things that lawmakers are discussing, and I'm going to show you something, it's called the Social Security Expansion Act. This is something that many lawmakers are pushing for. They want to see this get pushed. They want to see this go through because this is going to help millions of Americans that are receiving Social Security benefits. But the Trump administration is also asking for things themselves. So again, I'm going to break this down in a moment. But look at this. It says, despite the slowdown, the Senior Citizens League increased its estimate for the 2026 COLA to 2.3%. That's still less than the 2025 COLA of 2.5% and a significant slowdown from 2021 through 2024. It says many seniors may find it's not enough for their budgets, and it will not be. Many seniors are struggling right now, and if you are one of them, let me know down in the comment section below. What are you struggling the most with? Is it the fact that the cost of living adjustment is not keeping up with inflation? Is it the fact that the things that you are buying are going up the most? Like medication is expensive, fuel is expensive, utility bills expensive, insurance of all kinds is soaring, going through the roof. Even housing costs are going up. It's a huge concern. Now, here's the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention today. What we have seen over the past, couple of weeks, really, is lawmakers are now starting to question whether or not the Trump administration's plan is going to work. I did a video just this morning and I showed you that many lawmakers are concerned Like they think that the tariffs on other countries is going to bring a lot of revenue in. I personally believe it will if it does go through. The problem is many lawmakers do not want to wait several years to see this happen. As a result, they want to pretty much scale back. Now, why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because how do we scale back, still provide more benefits to the American people, right? Ensure that Social Security remains solvent. How do we do all these things? That's the big question. Well, I want to show you this. This right here is the Social Security Expansion Act. This is the fact sheet. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is simple. Lawmakers say we have to do more for our constituents. If we do not do more, it's going to hurt us in the upcoming midterm elections, which are a little bit over a year away. Keep in mind, Congress does nothing quickly. They take their time. They're very slow. Sometimes they're methodical. Many times they pass whatever they want. But we are now at a place in the United States where we have to figure out how to provide the best life for every single person. Children, right? School-age children, young adults, right? Seniors, right? We would have to provide for everybody. Veterans, it doesn't matter. I want to read this to you. It says right here, in 2023, Social Security lifted 27.6 million Americans out of poverty, including more than 19.5 million seniors. Before it was created in 1935, about half our nation's seniors were living in poverty. Today, the senior poverty rate is 9.7%. However, that 9.7%, according to some, is actually not correct, because many seniors are living in poverty. They cannot afford food, adequate food. They cannot afford rent on a consistent basis. They can't even afford medications, and they have to ration some of the medications that they do get. It's a very big problem. Now I want to show you. This is what the Social Security Expansion Act would actually do. Okay? First off, extend the solvency for Social Security by 75 years. That's huge. It says, by requiring the wealthiest American households to pay their fair share. Here's what you need to understand. Right now, this is what Americans are being charged. Okay? You're paying Social Security taxes on $176,100 of your income per year. But certain wealthy individuals, they will make this in days, if not a month, right? And so they only pay Social Security taxes on, let's say, a day's worth of income. That's what many lawmakers are trying to go after. They say to increase the cap to $250,000, says under this bill, over 91% of households would not see their taxes go up by 1 penny. The reason why is because the top 1% is the one that's going to be paying this. This is something that President Trump has also agreed with, that we could actually extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which the Republican Party is trying to do at this time. And they're trying to do that with a budget reconciliation, which does not need Democratic support. But here's the reason why this is such a big deal. Because President Trump is okay with raising taxes for certain individuals, those that are well off, the wealthier, but he doesn't want to go and increase the tax cap to $1 million like some people are talking about. Increase it to $250,000 or potentially $400,000. That would be a huge boost to the Social Security Administration. But at the same time, if we do that, he wants to ensure some of his priorities are met as well. Extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, okay? Enhance the SALT tax deduction, right? Expand it a little bit. Make sure that we are not taxing overtime income, not taxing tips, and not taxing Social Security benefits, right? Some big priorities there. So that's the first thing he wants to do. Again, look at this. Here's again, going back to the Social Security Expansion Act, expands Social Security benefits across the board for current and new beneficiaries. It says under this bill, Social Security benefits for current and existing recipients would be increased by $2,400 per year. Here's the thing. I don't see this happening. It's great they throw it in there. It's good for headlines and everything. But I don't see this happening because of this right here. Okay? The cost of living adjustment and how it's calculated. It says this bill would more accurately measure the spending patterns for seniors by adopting the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, cpi-e. Older Americans, by and large, are not going out and on spending sprees buying big screen TVs, laptops, or the latest high-tech gadgets. Rather, they spend a disproportionate amount of their income on healthcare and prescription drugs, which would be reflected in the formula for calculating COLA under this legislation. It is not calculated under the cpi-w, which is how we calculate the cost of living adjustment today. Meaning, if we switch to the cpi-e, and lawmakers have talked about making this retroactive all the way to 2025, 2024, even 2023, well, if we do that, that would greatly increase monthly benefits. But by doing that, this means this one right here is likely out of the question. Okay? So, that's what we know regarding the cost of living adjustment. Now, there's a couple other things I just want to get to. First off, if we continue to see tariffs on the United States, it's going to mean pain today, but some experts believe next year in 2026, we could actually see prices decrease because we're going to see other countries not want to go up against the United States for months on end. Maybe they can push back in a few days, weeks, maybe a month or two, but if it's going to drag on for 6 to 12 months, many countries are just going to fold and say, you know what, you're right, we are going to eliminate the duties and tariffs on the United States, and so you can take those away from us. President Trump will pretty much put them at 10% across the board. It's going to bring in billions of dollars to the United States in additional revenue. That's going to be great, but it's also going to mean more pain today. The problem, though, is the pain today. Because again, in the future, in 2026, maybe 2027 or 2028, we are going to see things improve. Prices are going to come down. Factories are going to come back to the United States. And again, that means more jobs. More jobs here in the United States means more tax revenue for Social Security going in, which means pushes that insolvency date back even further. That's great. But again, it means pain today. Okay? So, here's my advice to you. Just be prepared. Don't waste your money on things you don't absolutely need. Okay? And I know a lot of people are like, I'm not wasting my money. And you probably aren't. But really look at your finances and figure out, can you cut out certain other things, other expenses? Can you reduce your electricity bill? Can you reduce your water consumption? This will bring down your costs. Can you move into a cheaper neighborhood? Right? Can you sell your car and buy something less expensive because maybe you just don't drive it? Right? Look at all these different factors and figure out, how can I save the most money possible and prepare for this tough year? Because my guarantee is this year is going to be difficult. 2026 will might likely be better, but you're really going to get a smaller cost of living adjustment unless we see some type of Social Security reform, like the Social Security Expansion Act. So, we'll see what happens moving forward, but that's what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.